Hello everyone, I'm Anas Al Ubaidi, and this is our fourth session or fourth lecture or fourth video from chapter 10, and it is fourth video from chapter 10 from the whole curriculum or syllabus of the Advanced Medical Science Liaison and Medical Monitor Certification course by CCRPS. And this session is part of chapter 10 about monitoring techniques and tools. And the topic for this session or video is about conducting centralized and on-site monitoring. As a short introduction, small introduction about the topic, clinical trial monitoring is the linchpin of ensuring data integrity, participant safety, and compliance with the global regulatory frameworks. So, monitoring in general, whether medical monitoring or any kind of monitoring within the clinical trials, as a broad umbrella uh, description, clinical trial monitoring is the linchpin, is the backbone, is pivotal, is vital and pivotal of ensuring data integrity, the integrity of the data, the patient safety, participant safety, and compliance within the global regulatory frameworks. So the compliance, the adherence within the regulatory frameworks. The rapid evolution of trial designs and the emergence of multi-site and decentralized trials necessitate sophisticated monitoring strategies. So we have sophisticated monitoring strategies, strategies that has been enhanced and modernized in order to uh, meet up with the rapid evolution of the trial designs. Two primary approaches are centralized monitoring and on-site monitoring. And by on-site monitoring is the physical in-person on-site monitoring. These methodologies complement one another. The methodologies of centralized monitoring and on-site monitoring complement one another, complete one another. So one depending on the other. So they are dependable on each other and completing each other, one another, in order to reach the ultimate goal of any clinical trial. So these methodologies complement one another, combining data-driven insights with a tangible hands-on oversight to optimize trial outcomes. Centralized monitoring leverages advanced technological tools such as, for instance, electronic data capture, EDC systems, or the other name for it, electronic case report forms, ECRF systems, and predictive analytics to remotely oversee trial sites. By focusing resources on key data trends and anomalies, it enhances efficiency and scalability, especially for large global trials. Conversely, on-site monitoring, the in-person physical on-site monitoring, ensures direct human interaction and evaluation at trial sites. This approach verifies compliance through source data verification (SDV), site staff training, and equipment inspections, thus addressing issues with a personal touch. For the advanced physician medical monitors, for us, for the medical monitors, for the clinical scientists, understanding the nuances of both approaches is not just beneficial, it is critical. So beneficial and beyond beneficial as it is critical. By mastering the tools, methodologies, and challenges of centralized and on-site monitoring, you can ensure data integrity, patient safety, participant safety, and streamlined clinical operations. The key points for the topic for this video will start with definitions and characteristics of centralized and on-site monitoring. So centralized monitoring, as of centralized monitoring, involves remote trial oversight using analytics-driven systems to identify trends, anomalies, and outliers in site performance. So the characteristics for the centralized monitoring conducted from a central location, avoiding the need for frequent on-site visits. So limit, reduce the frequency of on-site visits, employs statistical tools, predictive analytics, and centralized dashboards to monitor trial activities. Works on a risk-based approach, giving precedence on high-risk data or sites. Example, a centralized monitoring team identifies a site with higher than average protocol deviations by analyzing key risk indicators, as short for it, KRIS, key risk indicators. This prompts targeted follow-up actions. While on the other hand, on-site monitoring, as the on-site monitoring relies on in-person visits by monitors. Some experts may reflect on on-site monitoring as traditional monitoring. Commonly, clinical research associates or CRAs are the monitors who do the on-site monitoring, in-person monitoring, to ensure the trial site follows the protocol, maintains compliance, and protects participant, patient safety. Characteristics for the on-site monitoring provides hands-on inspection, of course, of documents, facilities, and staff adherence to protocols. Why hands-on? Because it's in-person on-site monitoring. Includes source data verification, SDV, to verify that CRF, the case report form entries, or EDC, electronic data capture entries, match source documentation, match site source documentation. Builds stronger relationships between the monitors, and in this case, the on-site monitoring, the CRAs or the clinical research associates, between the monitors and site staff to enhance compliance. Example for on-site monitoring, a monitor physically inspects patient consent forms during a visit, confirming they are signed, dated, and align with the protocol requirements. And such inspection or just such monitoring will be done in person. And here is a nice diagram summarizes the monitoring methods in clinical trials. As we have here the high risk based focus and here the low risk based focus, low frequency of sites and high frequency of sites. And we have here the centralized monitoring uh, located here or positioned here, as centralized monitoring focuses on high risk data with frequent oversight, while here the on-site monitoring ensures compliance through direct and frequent visits. Methodologies for centralized and on-site monitoring. As centralized monitoring methodologies, I will start with the key risk indicators, KRIS or KRIs. As key risk indicators are predefined metrics that quantify site performance and help flag potential risks. Common key risk indicators, we have the protocol deviation rates. We have delayed reporting of adverse events, AEs, patient enrollment and dropout trends. And those three key points or three bullet points common key risk indicators. And they are common in any or majority of the trials. Example of key risk indicators, monitoring key risk indicators highlights a site with consistently delayed AE reporting, adverse event reporting, prompting escalation and targeted training. Then we have in the centralized monitoring methodologies, we have the statistical data monitoring, SDM. And SDM, statistical data monitoring, uses advanced statistical models to identify data anomalies or inconsistencies or discrepancies across sites. Techniques used here, analysis, of course, of variability scores and detection of outliers using statistical thresholds such as p-values. An example for it, for SDM or statistical data monitoring, identifying over-reported adverse events that deviate significantly from the trial's average trends. Then we have the another uh, uh, content with, or point within the centralized monitoring methodologies. We have the risk-based monitoring, RBM. As risk-based monitoring, RBM is a methodology that allocates monitoring intensity based on the risk profile of sites or data. The benefits for the RBM risk-based monitoring reduces exhaustive, unnecessary verification, prioritizes high-risk sites and processes. Example for it, for RBM, focusing detailed monitoring efforts on an inexperienced sites with high protocol deviation rates while scaling back for highly compliant sites. Then after the centralized monitoring methodologies, we have the on-site in-person monitoring methodologies. We have the pre-study visits, PSVs, or PSV, as for singular, pre-study visit. PSVs assess site readiness and suitability before the trial begins. So before giving the green light. Focus areas evaluating site infrastructure and internet connectivity for handling patient data uploads, assessing investigator and staff capability to manage the trial. Example for it, a pre-study visit evaluates a site's temperature controlled storage for investigational products, or IPs, or study medications, the other terminology for it, or SMS, or SM, for study medication. The another point or portion as from on-site monitoring methodologies, in addition to the pre-study visits, we have the initiation visits, IVs, or some experts might call it SIVs, site initiation visit, or for singular site initiation visit, SIV. Initiation visits or site initiation visits provide site staff with a critical training on protocol adherence, reporting requirements, and study documentation. And this is also prior or before the green light for the site to start the enrollment of the patients. So such visits provide site staff with critical training on protocol adherence or compliance, reporting requirements, and study documentation. The focus areas for site initiation visits or initiation visits, training staff on processes such as adverse event reporting and IP investigation on product study medication management, ensuring an understanding of GCP good clinical practice principles or standards. Example, an IV initiation visit includes an in-depth workshop for site staff on data collection and reporting timelines. Then we have another content as of on-site, part of on-site monitoring. We have the periodic monitoring visits, PMVs. And such visits occur while the trial or the study is ongoing, still being yet conducted or conducting. So periodic monitoring visits, PMVs, regular site visits during the trial ensure ongoing compliance and data integrity. Tasks performed, source data verification, of course, SDV, a review of patient files or binders for protocol compliance, and investigating missing or inaccurate data entries. And the last point, investigating missing or inaccurate data entries, is when source data verification is done by comparing between the site source documentation and the entries of the data into the EDC or CRF. Example, a periodic monitor visit uncovers incomplete patient histories in CRFs, case report forms, and works to resolve the discrepancies in data. Then we have the as part of on-site visits, we have the closeout visits, COVs. And closeout visits are performed at the end of a trial to ensure proper data archiving and site closure. Tasks performed, confirming that site data is complete and accessible, ensuring investigational products IPs are accounted for. Example, closeout visit ensures completeness of audit trails for regulatory readiness. And here, a summarized diagram about exploring centralized monitoring methodologies. As centralized monitoring methodologies, we have the key risk indicators as of KRIS, SDM, statistical data management monitoring, SDM, statistical data monitoring, and we have the RBM, risk-based monitoring. Then we have the benefits of each centralized and on-site monitoring. The benefits of centralized monitoring: efficiency, reduces travel and operational costs. So cost efficient. Example, KRIS, key uh, 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 and the key risk indicators, KRIS or KRIs, key risk indicators reduce the need for 40% of site visits by focusing on high risk areas. So here, if we see as key risk indicators, as it is an example and part or one of the applications of the centralized monitoring, by applying this or implement this application for the centralized monitoring in a trial, as for this example, reduce the need for 40% of site visits, the on-site visits, by focusing on high-risk areas. So here it's cost efficient. Why? Because here the costs, the expenses for the travels for the monitors for the on-site visits has been reduced by applying one of the perspectives or one of the applications of the centralized monitoring, which is the KRIS, which is the key risk indicators. Real-time insights, another benefit for centralized monitoring, identifies emerging anomalies across trials yearly. So, as for example, dashboards track delayed data entries, prompting immediate interventions. Scalability monitors multi-site trials globally with minimal resource strain. Prioritized focus directs efforts on the most critical risks and issues. Now we have the benefits of the on-site monitoring as direct observation, of course, because it's on-site in person. So direct observation provides hands-on verification of data and compliance, as for example, confirming accurate patient randomization records during site uh, visits. Another benefit for on-site monitoring, immediate issue resolution. Why immediate? Because the monitor, who is mostly will be the CRA, the clinical research associate, is personally actively there. So proactively resolves bias or errors or procedural deviations. Relationship building. Why? Because there will be human interaction through the on-site in-person monitoring. Strengthens collaboration with the site staff, enhancing long-term compliance. Comprehensive review. Why comprehensive? Because in person, on-site, ensures entire site functionality, including facilities and documentation, meets protocol demands. I give you one example as on-site monitoring on top of my mind. For instance, checking in person the labels of the devices that are being used within the trial uh, on site in that particular site that where the on-site monitoring is being conducted for the expiration or validation of, for instance, calibration, as this will be done through the on-site visit in person. So here's a nice diagram summarizes the as of above the choose the optimal monitoring strategy for clinical trials. As here it is centralized monitoring versus on-site monitoring. Centralized monitoring enhances efficiency and scalability, while on-site monitoring ensures direct observation and compliance. And as we said, one complete the other. One is competent with the other one, completing each other in order to reach one, to reach the same desired uh, outcomes for any clinical trial. So one complete that each other. One completes each other. Then we have the challenges. Of course, with any application, implementation for any methodology or strategy in any clinical trial, we have the challenges. So challenges of centralized and on-site monitoring. While here for centralized monitoring challenges, we have data overload. Vast data sets can be overwhelming. Identifying meaningful trends is difficult. Solution for that is machine learning tools automate anomaly detection and risk identification. Then we have the dependence on site data uploads, delays or discrepancies in site data impact monitoring accuracy. Solution real-time communication portals ensure punctual site updates. While the on-site monitoring challenges, we have the higher operational costs. Of course, it's the costs because you have in-person uh, 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 a monitor who is in-person travel in order to reach the site to conduct the on-site visit. Physical site visits are resource intensive and drive up costs. Solution for it, hybrid models maybe, uh, hybrid like applying a mixture of both on-site and virtual site visit, reduce travel frequency while maintaining oversight quality. Human errors, of course, this is very common. Subjective judgment during manual checks can lead to inconsistencies because we have direct interaction between human and between human beings, uh, as been between the site staff members and the monitors. Solution for it incorporates standardized checklists and dual monitor reviews. Inefficient scaling, multi-site trials, strain on-site resources. Solution prioritize risk-based interventions. Here we have the nice diagram summarizes the challenges and solutions in monitoring systems. As of centralized monitoring challenges, we have the data overload. That this resolution will be the resolution for it will be machine learning tools, and for dependence on site data uploads, the resolution for it will be real-time communication portals. While on-site monitoring challenges will have the higher operational cost, the solution for it hybrid models. As hybrid, a mixture or a combination between of both on-site and virtual distance monitoring. We have human error resolution for a standardized checklist, while inefficient scaling risk-based interventions would be the resolution or the solution for this challenge. Then we have the recent advances or recent advancements in monitoring. As first, we have the blockchain, the audit trail system for data integrity. Blockchain ensures immutable and secure data audit trails for all trial activities. Example provides transparent documentation for compliance audits. We have wearable technology integration. Wearables enhance data collection, providing real-time health metrics. Example automatically uploads patient heart rate and activity data into EDC, electronic data capture systems. Then we have the hybrid monitoring models as combined centralized monitoring with targeted combines centralized monitoring with targeted high-value on-site interventions. Of course, the hybrid can be applied as a terminology monitoring between if it's a mixture of on-site, in-person, and virtual distance monitoring, and also when you apply the on-site and centralized is also called hybrid. And if you put all three of them as a style of monitoring still hybrid. So hybrid monitoring models combines centralized monitoring with targeted high value on-site interventions. Example, remote dashboards highlight non-compliance sites, prompting focused visits by monitors. Enhanced CRMs, clinical research management systems, enhance enhance those systems, improve them. CRMs, clinical research management systems, streamline communication across centralized and on-site teams. Example, unified platforms reduce redundancies and improve task coordination by mastering both centralized and on-site monitoring approaches. Advanced. So, as for example, for enhancement of clinical research management systems, unified platforms reduce redundancies, improve task coordination, right? So by mastering both uh, uh, approaches of monitoring, the centralized and on-site monitoring, advanced physician medical monitors, the clinical scientists can implement robust efficient oversight processes, ensuring trial success while safeguarding participant welfare and data quality. And here is a nice diagram. Summarizes the technologies in clinical trials as we have the blockchain, ensures secure and immutable audit trails. Wearable technology enhances real-time health data collection. Hybrid monitoring combines centralized and on-site monitoring. Enhanced clinical research management systems to streamline communication and research teams. And those technologies are the advances or advancements in clinical trials that have been implemented recently. Then next on, we have the summary tables. As first, we have the definitions and key characteristics of centralized versus on-site monitoring. Then the second table, table 2, methodologies for centralized and on-site monitoring as the methodology, centralized monitoring, description, on-site monitoring, and description for it. As key risk indicators, KRIs, statistical data monitoring, SDM, risk-based monitoring, RBM, and centralized source data verification. Then we have hybrid models. Table 3 benefits of each centralized and on-site monitoring. Um, as the benefit for here centralized monitoring, example, on-site monitoring, and example. Um, as here benefit, we have efficiency, scalability, real-time insights, risk prioritization, and cost savings. Then table 4, we have the challenges and solutions in centralized and on-site monitoring as the challenge. Centralized monitoring solution, on-site monitoring solution, an example, and the challenges we explained earlier in data management and timely coordination, high operational costs, human error monitoring, and resource constraints. Next table, we have the recent advancements in monitoring and advancement description for each impact use case and example, as all these tables are summarized tables for what we have explained or covered in this video or lecture. We have the advancements, we have the, as for advancements, we have the blockchain, audit trail systems, wearable technologies, hybrid models, advanced CRMs, clinical research management systems, and then improved analytics. Then we have the application table as scenarios, key principle applied for each scenario, key actions, timeline, and what to watch out for. As for scenarios, we have the adverse event reporting, anomalies at multiple sites, centralized monitoring was the principle that was applied, neutral site without prior clinical study experience, pre-study on-site monitoring was applied as a principle, law as a key principle, low enrollment rates across multiple study locations, centralized trend analysis as key principle that was applied for it, missing informed consent forms after site initiation as the key principle that was applied was on-site monitoring initiation visit or site initiation visit. Protocol deviations in high-risk sites, risk-based hybrid monitoring was the key principle that was applied. Continue with scenarios, we have the potential data entry delays in multi-centric trial sites. As a key principle applied was centralized monitoring with key risk indicators. Faulty equipment reported by remote alerts, on-site monitoring as intervention or interventional or intervention visit, key principle that was applied. Final compliance checks before or prior to trial closure. We have the closeout on-site monitoring visit, as this was the key principle that was applied for it. Continue with scenarios. Monitoring global multi-site trials for consistency. Centralized monitoring with a blockchain was the key principle that was applied. Patient health condition progression during decentralized trial. A key principle that was applied: combined use of wearable technology and hybrid monitoring. Then in order to revise, we'll come across some few MCQs or multiple choice questions. We start number one with what is the primary advantage of centralized monitoring over on-site monitoring in clinical trials? Is it A, reduced need for data analytics tools? B, immediate resolution of site-related issues? C, cost effectiveness through limited site visits? Or D, comprehensive review of physical facilities? So immediate resolution, B, and D, comprehensive review, both for on-site monitoring, but the question is primary advantage for centralized monitoring in comparison. So of course it's C, cost effectiveness through limited site visits. Centralized monitoring reduces the need for frequent on-site visits, saving travel and operational costs while still ensuring effective oversight through remote data analytics and risk assessment techniques. Question two, which technique is part of centralized monitoring? Is it A, closeout visits, or B, pre-study visits, or C, key risk indicators, or D, investigation of storage facilities on site? So if we focus here, A, closeout visits, and pre-study visits, B, and D, investigation of storage facilities on site, three of them, A, B, D, are for uh, uh, on-site in-person visits, while the question is centralized monitoring. KRIS, key risk indicators. Key risk indicators are metrics used in centralized monitoring to identify and flag sites or data trends that require attention. Unlike physical visits, the on-site visits, this is a data-driven remote monitoring tool. Question three, what is the characteristic challenge of on-site monitoring? Is it A, data overload caused by complex monitoring dashboards? Or B, high costs and logistics due to frequent site visits? Or C, lack of scalability for multi-site global trials? Or D, delayed access to real-time data insights? So it's reasonable because it's on-site, so we have costs here, so high costs and logistics due to frequent site visits. So it's B. On-site monitoring involves physical visits, which are resource-intensive and increase operational costs, especially in multi-site or international trials. Number four, how do hybrid monitoring models enhance monitoring? By integrating blockchain to replace both approaches, A, or B, by eliminating on-site follow-ups entirely, or C, by combining centralized oversight with targeted on-site interventions, or D, by automating all monitoring processes with AI, artificial intelligence tools. So it's hybrid. So by combining centralized oversight with targeted on-site interventions. So C, as hybrid models maximize the strength of both centralized and on-site monitoring, providing remote data-driven insights while addressing critical issues through selective, targeted in-person visits. Question five, what is an example of a recent advancement in centralized monitoring? Is it real-time wearable technology integrating patient metrics? Is it B, periodic monitoring visits to ensure compliance? C, establishing investigator-led manual checks at trial sites? Or D, group training sessions for protocol adherence? So if we focus here as BCD, periodic monitoring, periodic, regular monitoring visits, establishing investigator-led manual checks, group training sessions. All these three, BCD, are on-site monitoring. And the question is recent advancement in centralized. A is applicable as real-time wearable technology is one of the advancements for centralized monitoring integrating patient metrics. So it's A, as wearable technology allows for real-time health data collection during trials, enabling centralized monitoring teams to track patient outcomes remotely and react swiftly to anomalies or trends. And here we come to the end of this session or this video. Thank you very much and goodbye.